You've made it. The world is quiet now, and it's just us. Welcome to the Savon Experience Pillow Talk Solo Edition, your safe space to reflect, exhale, and get real. I'm your host, Savon, and tonight we're diving deep. So get comfortable, take a breath, and let's talk.
That's what pillow talk is. Every week I'm pulling up with the real solo. No guests, no edits, just you, me, and the truth. So go ahead, get comfortable. You're tuned in into the Savon Experience. Pillow talk, solo edition. Let's talk.
Oh, jivas of the Savon experience. How y'all doing? What's going on? How you living out there? You wanna know how I'm doing? You probably didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, because that's what I do. I'm good if people just leave me the fuck alone. Like, seriously. Leave me the fuck alone. I would be much better in that sense. Because sometimes you just need a fucking break. You just need a break. So, have you ever asked yourself, why does everything agitate me right now? Have you ever felt just a wave of irritation? Someone simply asked you a question and you were like, oh my God, I wish this bitch just quit asking me questions. Leave me the fuck alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. And sometimes it's not the question that annoys you or that annoys me. It's the expectation behind the question that annoys me. Do I look like fucking fix it all? Did I ask to come fix every goddamn thing? Why are you asking me all the goddamn questions? Why do you continue to bother me? Like, when you are everyone's go-to, everything is just heavy. And then every question that you're asked, it feels like an attack. It's like your nervous system just start just going crazy. And you just be like, oh my God, just somebody, Father God, leave me the fuck alone. And you not being mean. You don't want to be mean. Sometimes your cup is just overflowed and it overfloweth and it's just dry as hell. And you just like, listen, I don't have shit else for you. I'm trying to sit over here and mind my proverbial and literal business. And you are just tapping on that damn nerve. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to help you right now. And it don't make you a bad person because you don't want to right then, right? Right. It's the agitation. And so in this episode of the Savon Experience Pillow Talk Solo Edition, I want to open up about a feeling that I didn't fully understand at first. Why I get immediately agitated when someone asks me a question. Like whether I am in the office or in the salon or on the street or just watching TV or whatever. It's like that flash of irritation was my body telling me that I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Girl, leave me the fuck alone. Get somebody else to do it. Learn the shit your damn self. Quit asking me the same fucking question over and over again like the answer is gonna change just because you don't like the answer. The answer is the answer, or the solution is the solution. And then I get agitated because I'm like, you keep asking me this shit and I keep telling you what the fuck to do or what the problem is, but then you keep asking me like you ain't heard shit. So then I won't say shit no more. I'm just gonna sit here and just look at you like this. The fuck you want me to say? I done told you 5 fucking times already what to do. You keep asking me the same question. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? And there are some things that's gone on this last week that people are talking about, and some people who are talking about it and expressing their feelings about the event. People are getting canceled, reprimanded, and I'm just like, so although I understand that words have consequences and so does actions, but like who chooses what actions or words or deserve those consequences? Because I know that there's a community and a marginalized selection of people who are constantly being attacked. The White House administration currently has said a lot of fucked up shit, and ain't nobody canceling them. Ain't nobody like losing their jobs. Like ain't nobody like there's no repercussions for it. But you can be a cafeteria later serving green beans, and you say something crazy, and oh my God, we're gonna let you go because this doesn't represent the culture. But the president is representing the culture right now, and what's going on? Like why aren't we having the same level of emotional intelligence, or why don't the rules apply to everybody? So then I feel like some of my questions and some of the agitation that I have is just like probably unprocessed resentment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's not about being mean. It's about being empty, feeling unheard, tired of people fucking with you. Your peace is constantly being disturbed. And then I just be tired. So this episode is a raw reflection of emotional burnout, hyper independence, and how being overly needed can start to feel like being emotionally held hostage or overtasked, or people have an exaggerated amount of expectations out of you that no one else has. If you've ever sighed before you said anything, or before you made a response, you was just like, this episode is for you. So grab you a drink. Girl, come in these comments. Let's talk about it. Let's fucking talk about it. Let's get into the things of the things. When you are in a state of chronic emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged periods of stress, caregiving, emotional labor, I don't know, burnout of working yourself, working 3 or 4 or 5 jobs, and often without adequate rest or adequate boundaries or adequate support for you. You're doing this shit all by yourself all the time. Hello, single parents out there. You are tending to that one person in the house, your elderly person, your mother, your father, your auntie. Hello, children who have siblings and ain't nobody lifting a fucking finger to help you take care of them, but got a whole bunch of opinions and questions and feedback to give you. Bitch, bring your ass over here and feedback into that room and help do something. I don't need your advice. I need your actions. Help with something. Do it by yourself. Be proactive. You know what I'm saying? Like I see people do this shit all day long and they don't often, no assistance is ever offered to them. But a lot of feedback is given. Bitch, I didn't act like that feedback is me asking you of something and be afraid of it and leave me the fuck alone. That's what I need you to do. Act like treat that feedback like you treat me when you think I'm going to ask you for something. Because you always asking me for something. You know what I'm saying? So this type of burnout shows up to people who are caregivers, in the creative industries, leadership, being the strong friend, the strong employee, being the leader. A lot of people don't give leaders credit enough. They don't give managers credit enough. You know what I'm saying? It's always, oh, leadership and management just don't know anything. They're just doing this and they don't think about it. It's a lot of shit that people in leadership talk about and think about, for their teams and for the team that they're leading, for their household if it's about your household. But it's always the people who have never walked in those shoes, who have never led shit, that always has these grandiloquent thoughts and hypotheses and soliloquies and dissertations about, oh, well, this would be easy if you just do it this way. Or it could be somebody who know exactly what it's like, but they just like, oh, well, all we have to do is A, B, C, and D. Okay. And see what that gets you because you don't listen. So, you know, I've just been in a space currently where it's just like people will be talking and it's giving you very much the Charlie Brown episode where the teachers are talking and all you hear is wonk 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 wonk, and I just be like, girl, I have literally and mentally and figuratively and all of that stuff just like, oh, okay, ain't listening to shit because you officially got on my fucking nerve. I have checked the fuck out. And a lot of us are like that right now. I'm witnessing a lot of people having that burnout. They're having the emotional burnout, compassion fatigue. I'm someone who is always compassionate of others. And I feel like fuckers be trying to use me. They know I'm going to understand. And, she gets it. I do get it. And just like I get my ass up and go do what I got to do, you get your ass up and go do what you got to do. It's not easy at all. But there are people who do it every day. The difference between those who are getting the results is the action. They're putting forth some effort, a little bit at a time. But when you are constantly trying to support people, you want to make sure that they understand their value and the position that they pay. Because I don't want to seem like I'm complaining because I love coaching people and I love helping people see the bigger picture. But sometimes it's just like, bitch, if you just thought about all the positive shit as much as you think about I don't, and start having more of a mindset of ooh, this is the day is gonna come where I'll be able to do this and I'll be able to do that. And you start preparing for those days and you start speaking those events into existence. It doesn't mean that the fucked up shit that's going on is gonna stop, but sometimes it'll help you maneuver through those spaces. But y'all, like I said earlier, sometimes that don't help. Girl, when you are constantly expected to be in service mode all the time. Y'all, I love my clients. And if some of y'all are listening, I love y'all dearly. But sometimes y'all expect me to be excited about shit that I'm not excited about. It's still work for me. I love doing it. That's why I'm doing it. I'm good at doing it. That's why I do it. But I'm not always excited about it. This is a new adventure for you. It's every day for me, right? And so I have to have these outlets where I can speak my mind because when the customer or the client or whoever that client is, the client could be the recipient of your service, your product. The client can be your spouse. It could be your children. It can be your parents, whoever you're providing the service to. That's just your client. And so in that moment, you just like, oh, I'm just giving people all of everything. Mm. And they keep testing my gangster. And sometimes you want to be like, bitch, you finna find out. This year has been one of the hardest years emotionally for me personally because there's just been so many things coming in from all fronts, professionally, emotionally, personally, and then affecting people that I love, that I show up for, that I care about. Like all of it is just happening. And I'm someone who feels everything. And I hate when people are done wrong. I hate when people get over old people. I hate when people steal from people, and then when you address the situation, then they like, well, girl, like it wasn't that serious. Don't even worry, but just put that in God's hands, bitch. I don't want to do that right now. That's not why I'm at. That's not why I don't want to do it. So when that emotional burnout and three things I talked about. I said emotional burnout, hypervigilance, and unprocessed resentment. Let's talk about that. So, emotional burnout, we've already stated, is a state of chronic emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged periods of stress, caregiving, and emotional labor, often without adequate rest, boundaries, or support. What is hypervigilance? Hypervigilance is a heightened state of sensitivity and alertness, often triggered by past traumas or chronic stress. Your nervous system is on guard all the time, even when there's no real danger existing. PTSD is like that, right? Jumpiness. It feels like jumpiness or startled response, over analyzing conversations or facial expressions, being easily agitated by unexpected interruptions. Ooh, girl, that's me. Anticipating conflict or criticism. Well, feeling overwhelmed by just one more ask, because one more ask is one more thing. Bitch, you gonna ask me enough? How dare you ask me one more thing? And so, where does that show up? It often shows up in conversations. It shows up in workplace dynamics. It shows up in public settings, unmet needs. Excuse me, during tests, right? Because your mind doesn't fully shut off. It doesn't. Sometimes, even when you're sleeping, it's processing your dreams. It kind of, your thoughts kind of go into your dreams. The things that bother you the most, you can't sleep. You'll be sitting at home and you'll be thinking about a conversation that you had earlier, and a response come up, and you'd be like, damn it, I wish I would have responded that way, right? Because your mind is constantly hyper vigilant. It also shows up unprocessed resentment. And what is that? So, unprocessed resentment is lingering emotional tension from unresolved boundaries, conversations, unresolved needs being met, or not being met, repeated sacrifice. And it's often that resentment is often towards people you care about the most. So that's why, a lot of people come home and it's like they'll bring all that shit from work and they'll bring it home, and then their spouses and their kids are getting it, and they like, damn, I get shit to you. But it's because they're overwhelmed. And in long-term roles where you're always giving, working, caregiving, when you're always giving to work, you're always giving to whoever you're caregiving, you're always giving to families and friendships, and even sometimes romantic relationships, depending on what it is, you're always giving. So those people you tend to have resentment toward those people because they're always there. So, do I feel annoyed because they asked something? Is usually a question that you have to ask yourself in that moment, right? So, do I feel annoyed because they asked me something, or because I haven't had the space to not be the one with the answers? Like, you got to process the emotion to kind of see what the root, you have to process the emotion so you can understand the root of it. And for me, I can definitely tell what's gotten on my nerve. I hate being asked the same question over and over again, especially when I've given an answer a multi- in a multitude of ways. There's a couple reasons why you would ask that same question over again. Either you didn't understand the response, so I need to have done better with the response, so I do try a multitude of responses, or you weren't listening, or you just don't give a damn. And that's how I process it at that moment. So then I'd be like, okay, after I have tried to offer a response in, I don't know, all these different ways, and I'm giving you all these different responses, and I'm giving the pregnant pause because I'm thinking before I'm speaking, right? Or I'm taking the actual response and I'm dropping it either to a friend, to my assistant, or an AI. Say, hey, can you clean this response up a little bit? Because I know I'm a little edgy and I don't want to come off edgy like that. So to get some assistance so you don't, when you get tired of doing it, you be like, listen, I am so sick and tired of you bothering me about things that's not important to me. It's important to you. And sometimes your coworkers do that because what their task is important to them, not realizing that you have a slew of your own tasks. And so sometimes you have to tell them, okay, I'll get to it when I get a moment. And if they've given you several things, your boss, send them all the things that they've asked you to do and ask them to prioritize the priority. Because people continue to forget that number one is a very singular one position. The word is singular. It's one. It's not more than. So this thought that everybody can be number one just really confuses me because I'm like, everybody and everything cannot be number one. It literally negates the word one. So we're in this space of living and this culture where everyone has to be feeling, you have to make everyone feel like number one. Well, bitch, you ain't number one. You're number 35 right now. Take the number and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Whew. So then you have to ask yourself when you're in those moments, am I having this reaction because I have emotional burnout or boundary fatigue? I'm not placing enough boundaries, or they're not respecting my boundaries? Am I being chronically hyper vigilant? Am I always compassionate and that's causing my own stress? That's me a lot of times. And do I have unprocessed resentment? I don't think I have any for me, I don't think I have any unprocessed resentment because when I get in this mode like this, bitch, you gonna hear exactly. And I'm used to communicating actively so that we don't get to that point. Or it could be high functioning depression or anxiety, showing up while breaking down quietly. Hmm. High functioning depression or anxiety. There's a thing. There's a thing. So I just get agitated. There's been times when, if I'm being transparent, there's been times where clients have asked certain questions and they're like, oh my God, I'm just calling, just checking to make sure we're good for so and so, so and so. First of all, I'm gonna tell you why that irritates me. And I know from a client perspective, a customer perspective, I don't want this to come off rude. See, this is me being emotional, intelligent, and thoughtful, right? Um, but just stick to the point. I set up when appointments are made with me, I make sure that there are reminders that are sent out. And the reminders will be sent out a week before the appointment. A reminder will be sent out 3 days before the appointment. And it'll also be sent out 3 hours before the appointment, the day of the appointment. And when I send the appointment information out via email, right, you get that notification. In order for you to actively get those notifications, yes, you're going to have to accept the appointment, right? You're going to have to say, yes, I will be there. And then, of course, the tool will do its thing. But if you don't do that, why did you think that I asked you for your email address? And I'm telling you, I'm going to send you your appointment via the email, but then you don't look at it. But you think you're going to text me all the time. Hey, I'm just checking to make sure we're still good. And sometimes I'll be sitting there looking at the phone like, if you looked at the email, you would have known that you were good. And so I don't have to, it's already being sent out to you and me, by the way. And in my 20 plus years of doing hair, it's only been, and I can't even say 3 times that I've ever forgotten about an appointment. I'm not going to say that I haven't, because I have. And typically that appointment is forgotten about because maybe I can't, I'm doing a favor and coming in outside of the standard operating hours. So that has happened, but it has never happened when it's on a standard, like regular business hours. Like that doesn't happen, right? So I really, when they ask me that question, I'll be like, and sometimes I won't even respond because I'll be like, girl, They go if they approved or if they accepted the appointment, they'll get their alerts. I get it and they get it. It'll show you that I've acknowledged it as well. So it's like, why are you asking me this? So in that moment, I'm aware that I'm agitated. I'm aware that I really just want to say something smart, but I don't. I don't say anything. And I realized in that moment that it really wasn't the question. It was the fact that somebody needed something that had already been answered and given to them. That's what pissed me the fuck off. Why am I being so proactive for if you're not going to acknowledge if you I'm putting all the tools in place to ensure that something like that doesn't happen, but you're not using and acknowledging the tools. So then I'm just like, well, girl, I'm not answering the question. I'm busy. Because most likely I am. Or they'll call during regular hours that they know that I'm working. Or let me call and just see and ask this question. I'm not going to pick up the phone. I'm not going to answer the text at that moment because I'm actually working on a client. I'm providing a service in that moment. I will afterwards. And if it's a question that hasn't been asked before, I will answer it. And if it's a question that has been asked before, I will screenshot and send that to them because sometimes communications systems do tricky things. Phones don't always send messages, although it show message it received or sent on your end. It sometimes the connection is not connectioning. So they may not have gotten it. So to ensure that I at least acknowledged it, I would screenshot the conversation, the question, and send it to them just to let them know, hey, this has been asked once, it was answered, and it has the answer. And if you didn't get it, okay, I did respond, it didn't come, but here's the answer, right? I'm not doing all that. So the root of that particular situation was I felt like they weren't respecting the boundaries. I was tired of it. And people who text and ask you questions on days or your day off, clients, customers, service industry recipients, I want to ask you a question. Why the fuck do you do that? Why would you ask a question, send your questions out to people outside of business hours, right? And then expect a response? It's okay to send the question outside of business hours because hell, you might be busy too. And you just thought of it. And let me get the question out because I forgot to ask. Understood. As long as you don't expect the person to respond outside of business hours, then we good. But the moment that you expect a response outside of business hours, that's when we're gonna have a problem. Because who are you? Are you paying me right now? Time is money. It's like your job calling you on your days off, asking you work questions. You give me this time back because I did put PCO in, and I do understand that in certain situations you're salaried, but that salary is based off a certain number of hours, and there's a certain numbers outside of the standard hours. Okay, I'll allow that. But outside of that, you're not paying for 24-hour access. That's going to cost you a tad bit more. So let's not make this a normal thing. Clients, you're paying for a service and a time slot. If you want 24-hour consultation, the price is going to be higher. And this is just for everybody to understand. Whether you are a client to someone, respect the boundaries. If you somebody who come in here and you got a lot of details that you like to provide and you want the service to be extremely detailed, do not get mad when they charge you a detailed ass price. Okay? That agitates me too. Oh, girl, how much is this? Girl, you asked for 5,000 different things and you have all these, oh, and I want it this way and I want to be able to do it this way and do it that way. Fine, no problem. It's going to cost you this way and it's going to cost you that way. What aren't you getting? What aren't you getting? Oh, girl, that's too much for that. I'm not gonna pay that for nothing. Well, then don't. And when you go apply for that job and you expect that job to pay you a certain salary and they like, we're not going to pay you that amount of salary, do not be insulted or offended then either. It is amazing how people want to be paid the most but want to spend the least for the most. But then you would take your ass out here and go pay $5,000 for a Gucci piece of paper, a sack. The leather ain't even leather, it's pleather in those instances, for a piece of nylon just because it has Gucci on it. I mean, girl, are we really on the same page here? Like, are we really trying to make the assessment with the product and the worth and the value and the labor? See, it's like it's not the same. And for those that I see doing it, and you walk around with all the things of the things, and you posting the things of the things, and you like, well, girl, I'm not gonna pay that. Well, that's fine. You won't be sitting in this chair. And I know there's 1,002 different hairstylists that's out there. Please go find you one that is in your financial bracket or budget. Because, girl, over here, you're not coming through asking for 1,000 things for $2. And just because I said that, people who know me, that don't mean you ask me for shit because I'm not giving you shit. You go work like I do. Okay. So the toll of all that sometimes is why some people get what they get. People expect to run your time up and play on your time. And then people need to remember that just like someone said to me, I mean, girl, so it's like, it's a lot of people out there, girl, that can do this service. Like, girl, it ain't that serious. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. There are lots of people out there can do that service. There's lots of people out there can do their service and not do it as good as me. And there's lots of people out there that can do it better than me. And there's lots of people out there that charge less. And there's lots of people out there that charge more. I'm aware. Go find you one. Because there's also lots of people out there that want what I provide. So make a spot for them. Move out the way. Okay? Where one door closes, another one will open. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are working with the intention of providing a good service and you're working, you know, with positive intentions. There are some people out there and people I know I've got hairstylist peers and service industry peers who don't present themselves professionally. They don't respect time. They want to show up when they want to show up and expect you to be okay with it and then have an attitude with you about it because they late. The fuck? You don't get to have an attitude with me because you're late. And now you have to rush to get things done because you got other clients. And I don't want you just playing on my time and playing in my head. Like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to rush me through when I done paid for the time and the service and these hours. You're not going to rush me out because you was late. You need to better plan. And I'm not moving out the way for nobody else. And in the same fashion, if I am late and you're working me in, I'm not going to be sitting there. Oh, and I mean, my girl be like, girl, you could have. If that's the mindset I'm going to have, allow me to reschedule because I was late. And what I want, because I'm picky, is going to take time. So I realize, even if it wasn't my fault, there was an accident or something, it wasn't the person I made the appointments with fault either. So why I got an attitude with them? This is what I'm talking about. So it's those moments though. I try to remember those things too, when I'm just like, oh, girl. So you're gonna have to name those moments when you are in a space where you're agitated. You're going to have to name the moment, right? And in that moment, this is how you name and then shift the pattern, right? So awareness is the first step. You're aware that this isn't personality, it's a system flag for me, right? Something about this has agitated me. So why is it agitating me? And then ask yourself, do I feel safe saying this response? Is it safe for me to say this response without negative implications? You know what I'm saying? Do I feel like if I really answer the question that the person that's receiving the answer is actually valuing the response? And then what happens if I don't respond? Or if it's a situation about availability, what happens if I'm not available for a while? You know, this is why, you guys, I had to move into a space of scheduling boundaries and me time and no service time. This is when I got to the point where I started being okay with not showing up for something that I just cannot emotionally or physically do in that moment because I'm just overwhelmed. Like everything is coming. I can't do it. And I had to work past the initial guilt behind it because sometimes there's a lot of guilt that comes with it. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is, because when it comes down to things that you have to do, if nobody is assisting you and doing it to help you, then it's okay to make space for you to complete the tasks that you're obligated to complete. You know what I'm saying? So you have to prioritize priorities. What is my main goal here? What is the main focus for today? Let me make sure I hit those main focus, those standard items that I need to do. And then anything outside of that, we'll address those a little bit at a time each day. We won't give them priority because they're not priority things. These are outlier issues. These are outlier questions. These are, situational things that's going on. This is not a part of the norm. So you don't get normal urgency or even emergency urgency because, like, girl, what is this? This is an outlier. So you guys, I need you to understand that your agitation isn't rudeness. It's your body whispering, then yelling that you're doing too much. And if you feel like everyone needs come before yours, it's okay to hit pause. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to not take the question and not respond. It's okay to protect your peace, even from the people you love, especially them, because those are the ones you value the most. Those are the relationships that you want to nurture. I don't want to ever hurt anybody whom I love and who I've chosen to be in my space, and they've chosen me to be in theirs. I want to make sure I nurture those relationships. And if I feel that something I'm doing is damaging the relationship, I want them to tell me, because I don't want to damage my relationships and my friendships. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hurt or harm anyone, but I also don't want you hurting and harming me. So it's okay to take a moment. And your agitation isn't always rudeness. It's typically a sign that you're doing too damn much. And you might need to chill. So when you have identified those moments, okay, I need you to have a reflection sheet, right? This is called a burnout reflection sheet. And just title it, Where is my burnout speaking through me? And then section 1, you want to have a check-in, right? What situations or people consistently trigger your irritation or exhaustion? And write down, is it work? Is it family? Is it clients? Is it partners? Is it myself? And with your response, keep it open. I feel the most emotionally drained when. Write it down so that you can start identifying these actions. Section 2 of your burnout reflection worksheet. Self-awareness. Rate the following from 1 never to 5 always. I feel guilty when I say no. I feel like I can't afford to rest. I show up even when I'm emotionally exhausted. I worry that if I stop helping, people will be disappointed. And 5, I feel resentment even in relationships I care about. That's section 2 for self awareness. And then for section 3, you want to have a restoration plan to restore you. So, what's one boundary that's associated to any one of those 5, those issues that you need to enforce in that moment to protect your peace? And you need to write down, I will not, whatever it is, after whatever it is. Say, I will not space after space. So this is why you have to list these things out. I will give myself permission to say no to whatever the trigger is, right? I will create a space in my day that is just for me by and say a certain time, because sometimes you have to break your days up. And for people who don't take breaks, don't take lunches, don't take moments to kind of readjust and refresh self, you're going to be the ones that need to do this most often. I've had to learn that. And in those moments where I feel that way, it's because I haven't been good to me. It's because I've allowed people to come in and ask me and I've overextended myself. Too often, I've taken something on as my own because I care and I've allowed it. You have to also be able to look at, or let's say you're somebody who procrastinate. You have to understand how you've put yourself in that situation too. See, that's something that I don't think people talk about, because you didn't do something and you didn't have this plan and this carve out or schedule in your day to make sure you hit your standard task, the things that you are supposed to do. Because you didn't take the time to do that, now you feel a certain way. The effects of procrastination is now coming down upon you. So you have to be able to identify if you're the problem, because you could be, and often I have been. And that's that fine line between drawing the line on taking time for yourself and then also not completing something you're responsible for that's going to come back up and stress you the fuck out later. You have to think about all those things, right? Okay. So, this is the task for y'all. I want y'all to make sure that y'all check in with yourself. You have your burnout reflection worksheet, right? You have your sections that I've outlined. You share this podcast and this conversation or the clips from the podcast to people who you feel need it, that is going to help them. Don't have to be sensational for it to get traction and rules. Views. My ass fucking up shit. And I'm going to continue to tap in. And now the podcast post is just once a week. And guess what? If I miss a week, it is what it is. Girl, I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I stressed myself out a whole lot with these 2 podcasts a week. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. I love pouring in. I love sharing. I share and with y'all. And I said that I was going to do this live, but I feel like if I do it live, I'm going to get off focus. I'm going to get off topic and it won't stay at 30 minutes. Hell, it's at 45 constantly now. So, but I don't want to do that. I want to value your time and I want to value mine. All right. So listen, this has been the Savon Experience Pillow Talk. Yes, God. Y'all have a very good evening. And I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Remember, grace isn't just for others, it's for you too. Until next time, this has been the Savon Experience Pillow Talk Solo Edition. Be kind, be soft, be you.
Let it flow. No mask, no noise, just my truth in the dark. Laid back whispers straight from the heart. Let the world know, come and walk this walk. You're deep inside the Savon Experience. Pillow talk. Pillow